from Vanity Fair.
Yeah,
They said you're a wannabe autocrat.
Sources tell CBS News that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has made his plans for 2024.
Official filing as a candidate is now set to come next week. Don't say gay bill. Notably, CBS News polling shows the governor is doing exactly what Republican primary voters want by challenging so-called woke ideas, opposing gun restrictions, and making liberals angry, among other things. We started getting hints of the upcoming campaign last weekend.
That's what I'm talking about. Fake news, man.
Using every opportunity to target and demonize groups that have already been targeted and demonized throughout history. Trevor Noah called you an ignorant racist.
Whoa.
Stephen Colbert, a gaping. Seth Meyers said you were cruel, sadistic, stupid, repulsive, ghoulish. People are getting a bit worried about you.
I think it's right. I think see me over the target. I'm obviously coming at it from a different perspective than they like to see. Those are all people on the left and sometimes far left.
Does a hostile New York Times review help sales?
Yes, with conservatives, of course it does. Yes. So here's the thing.
Nice. And we are live. How's it going, everybody? I hope you guys had a good Thursday, a good week. As you guys know, we have a lot of Ron DeSantis news. Ron DeSantis is increasingly starting to spike, increasingly starting to pop everywhere. Ron DeSantis is announcing his 2024 campaign. Frankly, I thought Donald Trump, the 2020 campaign with Donald Trump and Joe Biden was atrocious when it came to holding down the line, eating up Joe Biden like the disgusting, old, dirty, geriatric patient, crippled Dianne Feinstein, dookie-smelling, demonic, Satan, child grooming, pedophile, piece of you-know-what trash Joe Biden is. President Trump is an egotistical guy. Yeah, so I thought Trump did a terrible job in the 2020 debate, how he was supposed to whoop Joe Biden's butt because Joe Biden is a Chinese sellout, a career politician who has done nothing for the country, who sold the country out, who treats America like a $2 you-know-what from the late 1800s / Jack the Ripper type era. Joe Biden is a failure, smells like fart, looks like a dirty used condom. Dianne Feinstein and the dumb Democrats, they're all idiots and morons. Yeah, there is a woke culture. CBS is trash, fake news, garbage. So I went on Newsmax because Newsmax is the new Fox News, not in the sense that it's exactly like Fox News, because frankly, I think Fox News is trash. Newsmax is a really good network. Greg Kelly is also really good. Trump trashes DeSantis, or DeSanctimonious, what Trump likes to say. Disney reportedly is cutting its business plans in Florida amid the legal battles with the state's Republican governor, Ron DeSantis, and former President Donald Trump's campaign is hailing, having called it back in April. The Trump campaign issued a pair of statements headlined, Ron DeSanctimonious gets caught in the mouse trap, unquote, and President Trump is always right, unquote. Today, Ron DeSantis single-handedly lost the state of Florida nearly $1 billion in investment and over 2,000 jobs, with an average salary of $120,000 because he was too weak to fight for his state, unquote. The Trump campaign statement read Thursday evening, Ron DeSantis' failed war on Disney has done little for his limping shadow campaign and now is doing even less for Florida's economy. Shots fired. As you guys know, Donald Trump is pretty crazy in the head. He will say what he wants to say. And right now, he's frankly beating Ron DeSantis to death, punching Ron DeSantis left to right on his ribs. Frankly, if you lift up Ron DeSantis' shirt, you probably would see a bunch of purple and blue bruises all over from getting battered and beaten like a little skinny, cracked out Dylan Mulvaney. Ron DeSantis really needs to start hammering Trump. He needs to start pulling out some some jabs. DeSantis has been taking a beating from Donald Trump. DeSantis, frankly, is the small, little, timid kind of guy. Trump just said Ron DeSantis failed war on Disney, has done little for his limping shadow campaign. Donald Trump calls Ron DeSantis DeSanctimonious, unquote. Trump is just hammering Ron DeSantis on all fronts. President Trump has no respect for Ron DeSantis. Let me know what you guys think about Trump's comments on Ron DeSanctimonious. President Trump continues, on top of that, warned last month on Truth Social that weakness by DeSantis would lead to today's disastrous outcome. The culture of losing continues, unquote. Man, Trump is a beast. Just blasting Ron DeSantis. His skull was probably cracked 7 ways to Sunday like an egg. Trump just keeps whooping at you-know-what, like Mike Tyson versus some sort of weak opponent. DeSantis veiled shot at Trump on Saturday. I think the hope is both Florida and Iowa show how strong leadership and a bold agenda can defeat the left in this country. But there's no substitute for victory. DeSantis said during a Sioux Center, Iowa, let me make sure I get that word correct because they call it Sioux Center, Sioux. There was a natural disaster that occurred that prevented Donald Trump from attending his rally. That rally, I think, would have exploded in popularity, and Trump would have done an incredible job galvanizing the Republican Party. Ron DeSanctimonious took advantage of the opportunity like some sleaze dog and went over there like a chili dog, hopping and scooping up all of Trump's leftover voters and undeciders. It is what it is. Politics is a cold game, and you got to do what you got to do. We must reject the culture of losing that has infected our party in recent years. The time for excuses is over. We've got to demonstrate the courage to lead and the strength to win. Unquote. Donald Trump's statement Thursday added reference to an April Truth Social post in which he predicted poking Mickey Mouse would ultimately defund its Florida operations. Quote, Disney's next move will be the announcement that no more money would be invested in Florida because of the governor. In fact, they could even announce a slow withdrawal or sale of certain properties or the whole thing. Watch, that would be a killer, unquote. There is no love between Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump.
Sources tell CBS News that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has made his plans for 2024. What do you think he's decided? Ed O'Keefe is with us from Washington. Ed, good morning. This is a surprise, I would say, to no one, but what are you hearing?
Well, Gail, good morning. 2 sources close to Governor DeSantis tell CBS News his official filing as a candidate is now set to come next week. The decision to file the paperwork is set to coincide with plans to meet with some of the governor's longtime donors at a hotel in Miami. They're expected to be briefed on plans for the forthcoming campaign and requests that they start help raising big money for the bid. DeSantis has been busy with fellow Republicans in Florida passing a conservative set of legislative priorities. On Tuesday in Tampa, for example, he signed a bill that expands on the state's so-called Don't Say Gay bill. Notably, CBS News polling shows the governor is doing exactly what Republican primary voters want by challenging so-called woke ideas, opposing gun restrictions, and making liberals angry, among other things. We started getting hints of the upcoming campaign last weekend.
That's what I'm talking about. Fake news, man. Disney and DeSantis have been in a year-long feud that began after the company spoke out against a controversial bill. Here's a timeline of the events. Ron DeSantis has been at war in Florida with Disney World. Ron DeSantis stripped Disney World of its self-governing status in February. Disney has been atrocious, disgusting, sleazebag. Trigger warning, I am homophobic. I don't care about LGBT whatever rights. I don't care about trans whatever. I think men and women exist, nothing else. We already have our rights. There shouldn't be any special privileges between anything beyond that. We're all equal. Everything else is all catering to the crap. Disney World, a retheming, unquote, of the Splash Splash Mountain ride to disassociate it from its inspiration. The 1946 film Song of the South, in which a formerly enslaved man tells African folk tales. Disney World also revamped its Pirates of the Caribbean ride by removing a scene depicting pirates selling women in an auction, and Disney cut the greeting ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from some of its fireworks show to be more, quote, inclusive, unquote. Just trash. The whole woke thing is trash. Star Wars is trash. Everything they touch is trash. They're a failure. I don't give a darn about that dude, whatever his name is, Randy Rainbow or whatever he has to say. I thought his dumb mock comedy interview was disgusting, and calling DeSantis a girl when he's obviously not a girl. Randy Rainbow is an idiot, a moron. I don't even know him, but you know what I mean? Like, I watched 5 minutes of the video and I thought it was trash. The district also carried roughly $1 billion in bond debt. If the district had been abolished, that debt would have been transferred to the counties. Looking to avoid the implications of abolishing the district, the legislature held a special session in February of this year, during which state lawmakers decided to allow Disney to keep the special tax district and other perks. Here on Business Insider, we have a timeline of events. January 2022, Parental Rights and Education Act introduced. And then we also got March 2022, Disney responds. Part of critics' qualms with Disney was that it had previously donated to the bill's sponsors, blah, 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 doesn't matter. Disney CEO Bob Chapek apologized for not speaking out sooner, blah, 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 doesn't matter. So yeah, Disney and Ron DeSantis are fighting right now. DeSantis swiftly responded and said the company crossed the line, unquote, after Disney announced it would work to repeal the law. For Disney to come out and put a statement and say that the bill should have never passed and that they are going to actively work to repeal it, I think, one, was fundamentally dishonest, but two, I think that crossed the line. Ron DeSantis said, basically, Ron DeSantis legislation, and Ron DeSantis is putting his foot down and he's saying, I'm not going to back down. And basically, you know, just sick and tired of Disney World.
Mr. Governor, well, first of all, thank you very much indeed.
Welcome to the free state of Florida.
I've come all the way from London for
Welcome
this.
to the free state of Florida.
You know, question. Who's this guy, Ron DeSantis?
Who's Ron DeSantis?
Are you aware of this?
I am, and we've been able to see a little bit of that. And look, I have the privilege of being the governor of one of the most dynamic jurisdictions in the world right now. The amount of people that have decided to move to Florida, just visit Florida, or even just look to Florida for inspiration has been unlike anything we've seen in the state's history. So
DeSantis is living proof that when conservatives govern as conviction conservatives, committed to freedom, light regulation, low taxes, strong borders, and proper policing, and don't crumble in the face of militant wokery, voters lap it up. What's your response to that first? Well, is that a good categorization of why you think you've been successful?
I think all that's true. I think, you just think of environment. We've done more on conservation for Everglades, but this is like things that really matter to people. I'm not trying to control their lives. I'm just trying to make the environment better. Crime, we're law and order. We are not dealing with letting criminals out or going soft. I actually removed a Soros-backed prosecutor from Tampa who said he wasn't going to follow the law. COVID, we made sure that we protected people's freedoms. We have no income tax. We have one of the lowest per capita tax burdens in the country, lowest per capita debt burdens in the country.
All this has made you very popular in Florida. I mean, just anecdotally, being here for a few days, I've been completely stunned, frankly, by the amount of adulation you get from Floridians.
Here it comes.
But as your star has risen, as you know, out have come the knives. This is from Vanity Fair. They said you're a wannabe autocrat. Already governed the Sunshine State like a banana republic. You're the Genghis Khan of social issues, using every opportunity to target and demonize groups that have already been targeted and demonized throughout history. Trevor Noah called you an ignorant racist.
Whoa.
Stephen Colbert, a gaping bleep.
A gaping
Seth Meyers
bleep.
said you were cruel, sadistic, stupid, repulsive, ghoulish. When you see this kind of hatred, what it says to me is people are getting a bit worried about you.
I think it's right. I think see right. me over the target. I'm obviously coming at it from a different perspective than they like to see. Those are all people on the left and sometimes far left. But here's the thing. I think the reason why I won the biggest landslide in the history of Florida for governor's race is because that criticism is so far removed from the reality.
Wow.
There's legitimate things we can criticize everybody for, including me. But when you start talking about being an autocrat, all I do is I look at my constitutional powers and I govern in a way to advance the principles that I believe in. I was the #1 governor being attacked.
I criticized you.
There you go.
I discovered today, I checked what I tweeted about you historically.
There you go.
And I found a tweet, I think in 2021, where it looked like Florida's record was not going to be good on COVID because you've been one of the first people in America, certainly, to bring back freedoms for people.
Freedom.
And I was quite scathing. I said, this guy's going to have blood on his hands. Actually, it didn't turn out that way. Actually, you were very bold in a lot of the stuff you were doing, bolder than many other governors.
Super bold.
And it turned out
That's what I like.
In many areas you were vindicated.
That's what I like about DeSantis.
Well, here's the thing. Excess mortality, lowest in the Sun Belt, even lower than New York and California for all-cause excess mortality. And then, of course, economically and freedom, we've done way better. Now, listen. I was very concerned about COVID because I've got more elderly than just about anyone. I've got 4,000 long-term care facilities. I've got condos with seniors stuffed in them all across. So and I'm a tourism state. So this was a huge existential threat.
Nice.
You know, someone reviewed your book and said he would launch any charm offensive unarmed.
Well, I appreciate the knocks on the book. It's the #1 book in America, far and away. I've sold more than any non-president in the history of the country.
Does a hostile New York Times review help sales?
Yes, with conservatives, of course it does, yes. So here's the thing, I think there is, these are people who are in the political class, journalist class, politicians, and like DC in particular. They get mad. I don't do the cocktail parties. I don't like rubbing elbows with other people. I like doing my job and then spending time with my family. That's just what I do. I raise more money than any non-presidential candidate in the history of America. Are you kidding me?
Nice. I like Ron DeSantis a lot. I don't have a problem with Trump. Me personally, I'm not voting for Trump. I'm for DeSantis and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. DeSantis is a guy of conviction who walks the walk and talks the talk. He might be a small dude, but in the inside, he's a big fighter, a warrior, a champion, a gladiator with dirt on his face, with chains on his ankle, ready to start fighting in the ring for his life. Can he beat Donald Trump? Let me know what you guys think. I think DeSantis can potentially get the upper hand due to his composure and his really unwavering, laid-back personality. A lot of the dumb haters on the woke, trash, rainbow mafia talking about make all the men, women in the movies, make all the white people, black people, woke garbage that keeps tanking, getting 1.2 stars out of 10 stars on IMDb, and all this trash on Rotten Tomatoes that nobody wants to watch. Star Trek Picard was a disaster, but season 3 was all right. So, that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think. I like Ron DeSantis. Are you going to vote for Ron DeSantis? Oh, also let me know what you guys think about Trump ripping Ron DeSantis to shreds. I think the amazing thing about Ron DeSantis is when Ron DeSantis is president, he's going to be whooping that what all the way from here to Sunday if he gets elected as president, going against Dimension Grandpa Biden or Michael Obama, unquote. I'll see you guys next time. This has been the Moderate View.